All right, Miles, let's talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is a team, once again, we talked about it a little bit last week. No one saw them, 4 weeks ago when they were 4-8, that they'd be here today at 8-8, on the verge of potentially getting into the playoffs. They made believers out of so many people in their own fan base and just the NFL sphere in general. And you've got a story on your end about one guy who has been won over completely by the Pittsburgh Steelers, and specifically one exciting rookie has won this guy over as well. And I know you got the specifics on that. Before I hand that over to you, Miles, we want to hear from Steelers fans in the comment section below. You got your last game of the regular season, hopefully not the last game of the season, against Cleveland coming up this Sunday. Give us what you think the final score will be in the comment section below. And while you're down there, make sure you hit subscribe. That way, all of the Steelers content we create will be sent right to you. But Miles, give us the latest out of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Nick, I think at the beginning of the season, there were a lot of doubts about Kenny Pickett. There are stupid doubts, like people saying his hands were too small or something crazy like that. There were justifiable doubts, saying that he was a rookie. They had two other veteran quarterbacks on the roster that maybe were more deserving of the playing time that Pickett was. And, those were valid arguments. But as the season played out, and things moved on, it became apparent that the answer this season would be to start Kenny Pickett. And Ben Roethlisberger was very outspoken about how he did not think Pickett was ready. He didn't think he was developed enough. He didn't think he had enough talent to be a starting quarterback. But after this crucial Week 17 game, Ben Roethlisberger has completely flipped his opinion on Pickett and kind of on the Steelers as a whole, Nick. And I have the comment here for you that Roethlisberger gave on his podcast, Footballin' with Ben Roethlisberger. Here it is. He said, "I severely, in my opinion, underestimated Kenny. I think he throws the ball better than I thought. He runs way better than I expected. I thought his decision making was really, really good. He has good leadership, good toughness, and just enough of an edge. So I think that Roethlisberger kind of covered the whole gamut of like what makes a good quarterback. And he goes on to say that he apologizes, that he doubted Kenny at all in the beginning. So I think he's completely on board, and I think he's just on board with the Steelers organization and team as a whole right now. Nick, what do you think about these comments by Ben?
So I think one of the things when I hear these comments, I'm reminded of the famous John Madden quote when he said, "Winning is a great deodorant," which means when you're winning games, things just start to look better and feel better. Because even when you look at Pickett's raw numbers, they're not really that impressive. But the fact they're winning games, he's making clutch plays down the stretch, finding ways to pull out wins these last 2 weeks and game-winning touchdown throws. First against the Raiders, last week against the Baltimore Ravens. It's starting to get people to feel like there's a certain mojo about him. And it is credible, right? To be that clutch and that early in this career is a really good sign. But it's not just his clutch factor. So Derek Bell over at Sports Illustrated broke down Kenny Pickett's film. And the thing that blew him away specifically is how quickly this season his playmaking ability has developed. Getting outside the pocket, making plays, creating it when it's not there. Of course, the big example is a touchdown to Naji Harris against Baltimore to win that game. He said they didn't see that early on with Kenny Pickett. They didn't really expect that, through preseason and training camp with Pickett. They thought he was just going to be a system guy, sit in the pocket, make the right read, make the right throws, understand the offense, execute the flow of the game, all that kind of stuff, game manager kind of stuff. But the fact that he's making plays outside the pocket, using his legs, like Ben Roethlisberger alluded to, I think it has impressed everybody. And if Pickett continues on this track right now, this guy could be super special.
Now, Nick, Ben also made some other comments about the Pittsburgh Steelers as a team, specifically running back Naji Harris. And he said, as after there had been some questions about a hesitancy in Naji's running style earlier in the season, he goes on to say, "This dude has been running like a big dog now. And, you know what the big dogs do, Nick? They got to eat. So they need to feed Najee." And I just think that comment isn't so much so important to like the growth of the team. I think it's just like you said, the Madden quote, winning is a good deodorant for everything. And I just think the Steelers have been winning games, have been playing good, and they just look better as a team. And I think people are starting to notice there isn't so much of a negative air. Now, granted, we do have to say Matt Canada does need to go, and I think this will be very transformative for this offense. Just because your players are playing hard and winning games on last-second game-winning drives does not mean the offense is performing as well as it can. They should be blowing people out. So, with that being said, I just think I like the direction the Steelers are going with. I like the development of these young players, and I think Ben Roethlisberger and a couple of other people around the Pittsburgh Steelers organization do as too. So it's an exciting future for the Steelers.
Yeah, and one thing I want to touch on real quick, you made this point, and I think Roethlisberger made it too. And I think it's really important. What he saw from Najee Harris and what he's become as a player and what Kenny Pickett has become and what George Pickens is and what these guys on defense are and all that. We know any problems, any shortcomings with the Steelers clearly are not their talent level on the field. Pickett is showing he can be a playmaker. Najee Harris looks like a beast and so on and so forth. The problems that they have are not on the football field with the players. They're on the sidelines. They're in the coaching box, whether it's Matt Canada, someone on his staff, or some combination of the two. It's clear that's where the limitations with Pittsburgh are, and I think that has to be addressed and frankly will be addressed this coming offseason. Playoff season is here, and we all know that the only thing that matters this time of year is being clutch. And nothing is more clutch than having a wireless carrier built on the nation's largest 5G network. The only carrier with that title is, of course, Mint Mobile, who we're partnering with for today's video.
Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for low as $15 a month. And you don't have to sacrifice any coverage, speed, or data. They're built on the nation's largest 5G network. They keep the cost low because they sell direct to you online. They cut out retail stores and salespeople. Why should you pay more than you have to for the access to the same network?
Use our link. You can find it in the description below to get premium wireless starting at $15 a month. That link is mintmobile.com/Saturday. Again, find that link in the description below and stop paying more than you need to on your wireless bill. And guess what? Start saving big with Mint Mobile.